And welcome to the Basket Cases podcast.
You almost sounded Jamaican there. Welcome to the Basket
Welcome, man,
Cases.
to the Basket Cases, man.
Oh, welcome. Episode 11.
Episode 11, man, of the Basket Cases.
Yep.
Welcome to Basket Cases podcast. Episode 11. I did say it again. I sounded Jamaican again there, huh?
It's okay.
My bad, man.
Jamaican at heart. We love you.
So anyway, episode 11, welcome. Thanks for listening. We have a ton to get to today, so I just want to say thanks to all you people out there listening. Really appreciate you spending some time with the Basket Cases here. We want to encourage you to contact the show, basketcasesla@basketcasespodcast.com. That's the email address. Follow us on Twitter at basketcasesla. Listen on YouTube, SoundCloud, all those good things. And yeah, so we're going to get to a lot of things tonight. We have the NFL is coming back to LA.
Woo! Inglewood.
The Rams coming to Inglewood.
They're building a whole new joint for them, too.
Oh, yeah. So we'll get into
It'll be
that.
like $1 billion or something.
That's right. We're going to talk about some Lakers. A couple of tough games in the last week, but, we'll get there. We got NFL playoffs well underway this weekend. Some exceptional games. And what else do we have? We're going to do some strictly hip-hop today.
Hell yeah.
We might play a game or two.
I hope so.
And
you know how good I am at those.
And also the UFC. There was a great UFC fight tonight. TJ Dillashaw fighting against Dominic Cruz.
That was a good fight.
Free from the UFC on them. No pay-per-view. So let's get straight to it. We're going to change. We always say the Lakers are our leadoff hitter on this show because we are the Basket Cases after all, but we're not dead to the world. We're going to talk the biggest headlining news of the week. The NFL is coming back to LA. So the Rams are coming to Inglewood. It's official. Stan Kroenke, the Rams owner, his plan was approved in large part due to the $125 million he spent from his own pocket, which to him is chump change.
Money ain't a thing.
But he got design drawings drawn up by a great architecture firm, I guess, that is known for building incredible stadiums. And it's going to be a multiple billion-dollar project built in Inglewood, California, near the Great Western Forum, as we all used to know it to be called. Now it's just the Forum concert venue now, where the Lakers used to play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I believe it's 60 contiguous acres, and it's a area of real estate that's larger than Century City. So they have a lot of land to work with. The stadium's supposed to open up in 2019, and this is interesting. It just goes to show you the amount of planning that went into getting this project underway. This is an El Nino year, which just means like in LA, it's going to kind of rain a little bit more than it typically would, and so
El Nino, Spanish for the Nino.
So, it's a big deal in Southern LA because we can't stand rain here. But anyway, the planning for the project, the reason the building's not going to be able to open until 2019 is apparently because they expected the vote to happen in favor of the Rams coming in last December. And because it was delayed a month and not approved till January, that basically set back the date for the excavation, and they figured that the site was going to fill with water and set back all their plans, and enough to the point where they wouldn't be able to do it till June or something with the excavation, and that would set back a whole season of football just like that. So that is what happened, unless some sort of miracle happens and they're able to really blast through it. It looks like the 2019 season is their
Go Rams.
estimation date. I'm excited about the Rams. They're my childhood team. A lot of people tried to disown, or they just did disown the Rams when they left LA because of the owner and some, the politics behind the scenes stuff. They just moved the team out of here. I was too young to know all the politics back then. I was like, 4 years old, 5 years old. So anyway, they stayed my team pretty much my whole life, so I'm pretty excited about the Rams coming back.
Sweet. I know my dad will be stoked too because he was a Rams guy before they left.
Yeah. We got Gurley, good running back. Hopefully we can get a quarterback who can play and make the team a little better than they've been. Obviously, they have a great defense. So the Rams are back. Another thing that's interesting about this project is, a lot of people complaining about the traffic. Obviously, it's going to affect the new stadium is going to affect the traffic in LA, but traffic's already bad, and it's been 20 years without football, and I think it's going to be cool. It's going to bring a lot of money and jobs to the area, construction jobs, and then retail jobs and service jobs. They're going to have Super Bowls there, probably they say every 4 years or so, probably a couple Super Bowls a decade, which will bring like $1 billion per weekend to Inglewood. Yeah, right. Money ain't a thing. And they're gonna do like award shows, concerts. They want to have the host Olympics, do conventions, all sorts of stuff.
Have children's birthday parties.
Yeah, who knows? Probably like Jerry Jones will have a birthday party there. They'll celebrate.
It's my birthday.
And drink $1 million champagne.
Ooh, that's the good stuff right there. You never had that?
What is it? I've never had
$1 million champagne.
No,
I recommend it.
Yeah, you've had your fair share, huh?
Maybe.
So anyway, I'm excited about football coming back to LA. Are you guys, listeners? Tell me what you think. And now the question remains: should the Chargers follow? They say they got like a year to plan, but I think it's technically less than that with all the scheduling that goes into the upcoming seasons and whatnot. So I think the Chargers have a few months before they have to decide if they want to follow the Rams up here. They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because I don't think they have the money for a stadium in San Diego, and they don't really. I don't think they have much of a fan base in LA, especially with now every day that the Rams are in LA, they're the LA Rams and they're swallowing up the market. It's just like to be the second team in town. And Charger fans in LA, like LA and San Diego, are just different types of cities. Charger fans aren't going to stick with their team if they abandon them from San Diego and go up to LA. They're going to be like, man, forget you. So I just don't know what the Chargers are going to do. You figure they're going to be like the Clippers if they come up to LA. So the Rams are going to be the team in town.
Word.
How do you feel about football coming back to Los Angeles?
Me personally?
Yes, you personally.
You mean that other guy sitting here? Or only I can see him? Yeah, I feel okay about it. Obviously, yeah, little things like traffic and things like that. But I mean, I probably won't go to many games.
Well, if it's just the Rams, then that's only like going to be, I think, 7 games, plus a couple preseason games. Because I think one of the 8 home games is actually going to be in London this coming year. And that's obviously going to be at the Coliseum, so it's going to be a little different situation for the traffic as it moves to Inglewood in a few years. But they'll be playing at the Coliseum until the arena's built. But it's only a few days a year. I think a lot more of the traffic will come from just all the different events that they're going to try to use. And they're going to have shops and entertainment and concerts. And like, I think there's actually like an 8,000 person like arena stadium, like concert venue built into this massive plaza. They're going to, they're going all out.
They're going to deck it out.
Yeah. I think it's going to be cool. Cause I mean, the reality is if there's traffic, it's probably cause we're going there,
True.
Shoot.
I don't mean to be like the cliche traffic thing. I don't know. It's like, cool. Okay.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to, like I said, hopefully it'll bring a lot of money and jobs to people and places that need it.
Yes.
So NFL's coming to LA. Go Rams. I am excited about the Rams though. It kind of just makes like you feel like LA is just like back on the map. The NFL is such a big deal.
Right.
To think that there's not a single team in LA for 20 years. It's cool. So we'll get back into, actually, you know what? Let's just stick with football. We're doing football. Let's just go with it. The NFL playoffs were underway, and this is my pretty much favorite week of football because you just get 4 great games. You don't have to have the Red Zone channel or, have 19 TVs. They're just 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Here's the best teams. Enjoy. So
on a silver platter.
That's right. So it all kicked off on Saturday in a showdown between the 11-game win streak surging Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Patriots and Tom Brady. And the Patriots finished the game 27-20, remained victorious. And I think just the old adage in football that win the turnover battle, win the game. That's exactly what Bill Belichick always preaches, and that's exactly what happened. I felt it was a pretty low possession, grinded out football game, and as soon as in the third quarter, who did I write here? I guess I didn't write it down, but they basically turned the ball over. The Chiefs did. Excuse me. The Chiefs turned the ball over in the third quarter, and as soon as they did, I just felt like, that's going to be the difference in the game, because there was nothing extreme happening offensively or defensively for either team. It was just kind of a slow, grinded out game. And as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, what are the Patriots going to do? And sure enough, give the ball to Gronk, get a big gain, then run the ball one time, and then throw it to Gronk and get a touchdown. And you just realize, boom, that's the difference in the game. One turnover. Nobody had turned the ball over yet in the game. Mm-hmm. As soon as they did, the Patriots capitalized just like you knew they would. And I just felt like that was the turning point and the deciding play in the game, even that early into the second half, just because of the tempo of the game.
Do not turn the ball over.
And then Gronk is just unstoppable. Rob Gronkowski. Gronk. He had 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Patriots got a nice return from Julian Edelman. It was just, a methodical game by the Patriots, just kind of what you'd expect. But then to the best game of the weekend, in my opinion, and probably everybody's opinion, one of the most wild football games ever. The Packers and the Cardinals. The Cardinals took it 26-20, and if you ask me, sometimes it's just better lucky than good for the Cardinals, and I'll explain that. Hashtag it didn't flip. Dude, you didn't see this. They went into overtime, and the ref goes to flip the coin, and it just goes straight up and straight down, and it didn't flip. Like, he couldn't do it again if he tried.
Crazy.
So it was just all this crazy stuff happened in the fourth quarter. We'll get into the game. So, like I said, for the Cardinals, better lucky than good. I felt like Carson Palmer, the quarterback, was just trying to throw the game away. He had so many passes just right to the Packer defense. They got 2 incredibly lucky third down spots from the officials. Maybe not lucky. I think one of them was good, but one of them was pretty questionable. The catches the Cardinals receivers were making were just barely being caught. But to send the game to overtime, Aaron Rodgers had another Hail Mary, just like he did against the Lions earlier in the year, to send it into overtime. And it was just an incredible play. Made that catch in the end zone and for that jump ball. And once it got into overtime, after the hashtag it didn't flip gate, Larry Fitzgerald took over, and he got that yards after catch, as they call it in the NFL, that yak.
Got the yak?
Yards
He's
after
got the
catch.
yak.
Yeah, that killer play, and just drove all the way down the field. And he ended up finishing the drive with a shovel pass from Palmer for the overtime win. But it made me think, I don't like the NFL overtime rules. In the regular season, I hate that there's actually a possibility to end a game in a tie, because I just think that's ridiculous.
Lame.
But you would have liked to see Aaron Rodgers. Like, here's what I mean. I understand that statistically speaking, the defense has a chance to make a play and get their quarterback the ball, and so that's the reason why they say, like, first team to score a touchdown wins type of thing, or basically the game's over if the first team scores a touchdown or the defense scores, just immediately like that. Otherwise, if you get a field goal, the other team gets a chance to possess the ball. But what I don't like is that in every other sport, like in basketball, you're still playing against the clock. In football, you play against the clock for 60 minutes, and if you go to overtime, you just have to play against the score. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like that if it's just like a sudden death type of thing in that. I feel like they should just put 15 minutes on the clock and just go. Play a quarter of football.
I agree.
Because it felt as exciting as that football game was, after seeing Aaron Rodgers drive the team down the field, and Carson Palmer got an opportunity to make an incredible play, and he did. After throwing the ball away a million times, he scrambled and made that play to Fitzgerald across the field. But I would have loved to see Rodgers get another chance in overtime. So I just feel like the NFL should change that. Just play against the clock like in every other overtime.
NFL, if you're listening, change the rules.
So anyway, but what an incredible football game. It was exhausting, actually. When you were done, you were like,
oh my God.
So Sunday, the second day of games, the Seahawks and the Panthers played, and the Panthers came out and just completely stomped all over Seattle's face early in the game, and 31-0 halftime lead. Dang. And it was really the tale of two halves. Seattle just came out in the second half and played the way you wish they would have started the game. Had 24 unanswered, but they just basically ran out of miracles. I thought Seattle was lucky to get past Minnesota. Minnesota just missed the field goal they should have made. And today, as well as they battled in the second half, they didn't come out ready to play in the first half, and I felt like Carolina just got bored with them and kind of just took their foot off the gas. And I think I picked the Panthers last week, and I just feel like Cam and that team feels like, hey man, everybody's picking Seattle, and we were 15-1 this season. Like, let's go. I think they were 51-14 too. Either way, they were the most dominant team all season long, and they were ready to show everybody and silence all the critics. So that's going to be a really good game between the Cardinals and the Panthers next week. That's exciting. And so, which leaves the final matchup of the weekend, the shorthanded Steelers playing without Antonio Brown after that Vontaze perfect hit, which left Antonio Brown with a concussion. Man, what a crazy game that was last week. But anyway, the Broncos beat the Steelers 23-16, and next week you're going to get the 17th Brady Manning matchup. And the Broncos basically, again, was a story of a turnover basically being the biggest effect on impacting play on the game. Roby forced a turnover on Toussaint, and Manning capitalized, took the ball down the field with a lot of running plays, really. He didn't rely on his arm too much, and that was the difference in the game, especially on that windy field. That was really giving a lot of hiccups.
Smart move.
Giving a lot of hiccups to the offense. So anyway, and they converted the 2-point conversion, went up 20-13, and that was basically the difference in the game. Manning was 21 for 37, threw for 222 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. Like I said, the running game was a story. So next week we got some big games. You got the number 1 and 2 seeds respectively on each side, and man, I wonder who do you think's gonna win? Man, let's see. The Panthers. I just like the Panthers. They're at home. They're feeling good about themselves, and they're playing a team that I thought Larry Fitzgerald saved last week, and I think the Cardinals, just Carson Palmer, he's got to play better if they're going to stand a chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm taking the Panthers next week, and then in the battle of Brady versus Manning, the Broncos versus the Patriots. Man, that's tough. I'm going to go the Patriots.
Go with the Pats all the way.
I don't think anybody can stop Rob Gronkowski, even that Broncos defense. And I think Brady's just got a better arm, and Bill Belichick's just going to prepare that team like crazy. So we'll see what happens, but I put my name on it. I think the Patriots and the Panthers are coming out. And in other NFL news, the 49ers hired Chip Kelly. So now you're going to have a quarterback coach combination of Chip Kelly and Colin Kaepernick. And when Colin Kaepernick is playing at his best, I think he's one of the most exciting players in football. And I'd really like to see him run a fast, entertaining option offense with Chip Kelly and see if they can get the wheels turning again in San Francisco.
Nice.
Because I'm not a Niners fan, but I think the NFL is more fun to watch when the Niners are good.
Gets everybody jacked up.
Yeah. So that's a big hire. We'll see. And the Browns hired Hugh Jackson. He was the Bengals offensive coordinator. And so I guess he's going to be calling the plays for the Browns. So he's their new head coach. So the NFL, man, coming back to LA, though, that's the real news because we're an LA-based show here. And we're excited about the NFL coming to LA. Let's do the Lakers real quick. So the Lakers are falling on hard times. The last couple of games have been pretty tough this weekend. They played both on Saturday and Sunday. Today's Sunday. Tonight they played against the Rockets. They lost 112-95. There was more scoring, particularly in the first half, but again, the Rockets were able to pull away in the second half. I was talking to Zach earlier, and I was just saying, it's frustrating because earlier in the season, the Lakers were starting their games really slow and then kind of trying to battle back. And last couple of nights, particularly tonight, it was just frustrating because we were able to have a nice start and then just lose all of our energy and focus and just totally collapse in the second half. And it's like, man, if you're going to bring it for the full 48. And that's something the Lakers have had trouble with all year. But at the same time, they're a young team, and that's what happens. More mature teams can kind of put their foot on the gas a little bit when they need to, and kind of just takes young players off guard, and it takes them a second to catch up, and before you know it in the NBA, boom, 20 points.
Right. They know how to kind of use their energy in increments, I guess.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. And so anyway, Kobe has been sitting and coming off or basically playing and then having to sit midway through the game and finish the game on the bench and just not play anymore because the Achilles keeps bothering him mid-game. But tonight I felt like he moved a little better. He had 9 assists. He was really taking a load of the offense on his shoulders in the first half. Again, Lou Williams led the team in scoring, though, with 20 points. James Harden, 31 points, 5 assists, just basically doing his normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was a pretty brutal loss to the Jazz, 109-82. I need to hear about Larry Nance's knee. I know he did a little damage to it. Again, Lou Williams in that game led the team with 20 points. So, if Lou Williams is your leading scorer, that explains why you're what are the Lakers, 7 and whatever, 8 and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like to keep track. It's kind of painful.
8 and whatever.
Yeah, 8 and just a lot of bad losses. So the Lakers will play Sacramento on Wednesday. Earlier in the week, though, the Lakers played the Warriors. Obviously, you knew before that one was even started that was going to be a loss. Lakers were competitive in the first half, though. But I really liked the Jerry West tribute video. It was really fun to just kind of see him explain what he saw in Kobe at such a young age and how it all came to fruition. And, just goes to show Jerry knows his talent. So anyway, but Kobe's making me nervous with his Achilles, so hopefully he can limit his play. I know Gary Vitti the Lakers trainer recommended that Kobe rest for 1 or 2 weeks, but Kobe's not going to do it for that long because he wants to play in all the road arenas. There were also rumors around the internet that DeMar DeRozan might be of interest of the Lakers this summer. The Toronto Raptors guard and LA native. He's got sick hops. He has developed his game quite a bit in the last few years. I don't know if he's a player worth really getting, considering the Lakers have a couple pretty good guards of their own right now that they can have a little cheaper than DeMar DeRozan. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he's a complete game changer. So, to me, I think the Lakers are going to need a center. They're going to have Nance and Randall, and those are good forwards. They're going to have Clarkson and Russell, and Brown. Those are good guards and stuff. But they're going to need a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my opinion on DeRozan. I like his game, fun to watch. If he came, he'd be with welcome arms. But I don't think he's a game changer. Oh, and then finally in the Lakers news, I heard on Friday, news broke that Kobe trademarked the phrase, friends hang sometimes, banners hang forever. And he's going to make a whole bunch of apparel and stuff apparently with that catchphrase.
Nice.
That was funny. He's just going to have T-shirts and hats that say, hey, man, I'm just going to hang championship banners. Leave me alone.
True friends hang forever.
That's right. But banners hang forever. That's what matters to the Cobster. Count the rings.
Right.
So, let's see. We'll get into the NBA. What else do we have? Oh yeah, we also didn't mention. Oh, by the way, have you guys noticed that there's no noise?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like,
crystal clear. Zach hooked it up. We got another mic and updated some settings and stuff, and hopefully it's a little better for your eardrums this time around.
5, 4, 3.
It's halftime.
Wonderful segue.
1.
Thank you.
By the way,
Smooth, huh?
that was skills.
Hey, yo, it's halftime. So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Halftime, that is the time right now. If you're new to the show, or if you're a repeat listener, you already know this, but we'll just recap for everybody. Halftime is a chance for us to mix it up, talk about some stuff that's not necessarily sports, or maybe sports from a different angle. So let's get straight to it. I got some stuff for us to talk about. This week, ESPN Esports Online was launched. Zach, do you know about this digital competition? It's like they track like people competing playing video games against each other.
Really? On ESPN?
Like they're trying to get into the market. That's what I'm saying. They launched like this new website and like it's like the esports ESPN.
Interesting. I'm not against it, but
Dude, there's like money in it. Like these kids compete for money. I checked out the website just to see, and all the pictures are just like these kids just like super focused looking at a computer screen. It's just like, normally you'd see like, a guy like in a position to dunk a ball on somebody or something.
Yeah.
You just see like this kid just completely focused on a computer screen. Just
Little dorks.
I didn't say that, no, but anyway, how do you feel about that? It's supposed to be like the big market. Are you cool with ESPN trying to get in on the esports world?
Sure, because I didn't even know that esports world really existed until ESPN created it. So
Well, they didn't create. Well, I mean, they didn't create esports. They just created this new webpage to cover it.
yeah, I'm with that. I don't have, like I said, I'm kind of impartial to it because I'm not really a gamer myself.
I'm not a gamer either. That's one
Yeah.
thing I don't really. I'm not a fantasy sports guy, and I'm not a video game guy.
Yeah, give me reality, baby, all the way.
Yeah, I like to root for my teams. Oh yeah, reality. Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. On basket case as always. No video games here. Get that out of my face.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the esports conversation. I think, hey man, whatever floats your boat. If you're into esports, enjoy it. I think it's gonna get bigger and bigger. I mean, more kids play video games in every new generation, especially because they get better every year. I know people love them. Kids love them.
They do. They're a lot more prevalent in the world.
Totally. So anyway,
Or is it prevalent? What do you guys prefer
I
out
usually
there?
say prevalent. Why'd you say it like that?
Write to us and tell me what you think, listeners. Is it prevalent or prevalent?
If I get a single email about prevalent or prevalent, I'm gonna stab myself. Just
Something's
kidding.
working.
No, I'm just kidding. But please don't. I don't care. Okay.
I do.
Well, all right, I'm gonna give your number out on the air then. So anyway, another halftime topic. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is
MLK.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to MLK Day. I had a few unknown or rare known facts about Martin Luther King to share with everybody. He was born Michael King Jr. in 1929, and his dad changed the name to Martin when he turned 5 years old. King was the youngest man ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Over 900 streets are named after him.
All dangerous.
He was only 39 when he died, which is crazy. It seems really young. He was only 39 when he died, but the autopsy said that he had the heart of a 60-year-old man due to stress. He received a C in public speaking, and this year he would have turned 87 years old. And I got those from Ryan Buxton of the Huffington Post. But anyway, yeah, Martin Luther King Day. I think it's a great holiday, and I love that the NBA, puts a bunch of games on, and people will get to celebrate and watch basketball, because I like to watch basketball on Martin Luther King Day, and I'm fortunate enough to have that off this year, which is cool.
Yay.
But I think it's one of the more important holidays to recognize, because I think it's something that's a lot more recent, so it hits home a lot harder for me, just because of what King fought for, and the direct impact he had on like society and culture. I think is pretty cool. And one of the things that I like to take from him, having just being like white kids growing up by the beach and stuff, we don't really feel a lot of bias or anything like that, but so it's hard to like try to put yourself in other people's shoes. But one thing that I do kind of feel on Dr. King, like the way he conducted himself, is I just like that just because something is a law or something is the way it is, doesn't mean you gotta just say accept it.
Right.
Like things are laws, doesn't mean that they're right. So you can stand up for what you believe in and fight and make change happen. So I just think that was cool that he was somebody who led by example.
The fact that he couldn't even sit at the front of the bus at the time, and like people wouldn't because they didn't want to go to jail, and he's like, I'll go to jail. And the fact that you can
Wasn't that Rosa Parks?
Well, Rosa Parks, but I mean,
anyway, go
there
ahead.
were many occurrences, but
I'm sure.
that's like the story. But the fact that you could even, go to prison for that or be
That's what I'm saying. Like, those are laws.
the repercussions for such because there's a lot of stupid laws today. But
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think it's cool for people to stand up for what's right and not what's the law. You know what I mean? Don't just bend over and take it, people.
But so yeah, those laws back then, like especially socially like that, seemed much more ridiculous and like needed to be broken. It needed to happen for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So anyway, shout out to Dr. King. Cool holiday. And
Rest
I
in
hope
peace.
everybody acknowledges it. This is another story I thought that was kind of interesting. A gentleman by the name of Freddie Lim, 39 years old, of the Taiwanese metal band Thonic, which is Asia's biggest metal band, is running for one of the 113 seats up for grabs in Taiwan's parliamentary elections.
Up for grabs. I like that.
Yeah. He represents the youthful Taiwanese who oppose other politicians who want to continue to rely upon China. Lim and the youth don't simply want to be another Chinese territory, and I thought that was a really interesting thing. You see him. They showed video footage of him on stage, and he's got all this makeup and costume on, and he's rocking out. And then he has his hair totally back, and all of his tattoos and everything covered up, and when he's in his politician clothes and everything. And I guess he's been involved in other activist groups and things of the like, and his lyrics are very political, and they're a very prominent band, and they speak for a big portion of their society. The youthful people, they seem to like this guy. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and then I wanted to ask you, and just got me to thinking, what musician would you want to run for office?
Well, I have two. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, hi, I'm back. I have two. Dead would be Frank Zappa, because I feel like he was involved politically in the 80s because things just got super ridiculous, and he was on all the talk shows, debating with Tipper Gore and saying why she was stupid and all that. And anyway, and he seemed to see, the issues very clearly and had good solutions, in my opinion. I'm not going to go into that now, but look up Frank Zappa interviews if you want to see that. But alive, I would choose Bjork, because she's always seemed like lyrically just very open-minded and kind of just more about love and togetherness. A lot of her lyrics are about why do we all have to suffer? Why can't we just get along with one another? I can imagine we wouldn't have as many wars with her or at all if she were the president.
Right on. I just thought of one.
Yeah.
I would have Nick Hexum from 311.
Hell yeah. Seriously.
I think Nick Hexum could just make the entire world just chill out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He would just get everybody to just relax and listen to some music and just be nice to each other.
Yep. I'm with that.
And just be smooth.
Nick Hexum for president.
Dude, I would vote for Nick Hexum. Okay, so anyway, cool topic. Good choices, by the way. So the Oscars are getting criticized for being too white. Basically all the nominees for everything are just white people. The biggest example, I guess, of the controversy is that basically all the movies for Best Picture were basically none of the main actors were black, and Straight Outta Compton was as good as, if not better than, a lot of the movies that were nominated, and it's the one movie with a bunch of black people as in the cast. And the only people that got nominated for anything in Straight Outta Compton, I guess, were the two guys who wrote it, and I guess they're both white. So that was something that was being spoken about. And then Chris Rock went out, and I saw he had a statement that he called
He's always got a good point of view on stuff.
He always has the best. He has the best way to talk about society and make anything funny. Yeah. And he said he called the Oscars the White BET Awards. You could call them the WET Awards.
The WHITE Awards.
Yeah. And then I guess Reverend Al Sharpton criticized the Oscars, and several groups, I guess, are planning to boycott the show.
Nobody's gonna care. Go ahead and boycott the show.
I'm sorry, but I don't hold any stock in any awards show. I mean, Sum 41 got nominated for a Grammy. It's just a bunch of old white dudes voting for movies, and I don't really care what anybody else thinks besides myself anyway on the movies and stuff that's totally subjective anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just if you like it, cool. If I like it, cool. If we don't, that's cool too. And award shows are stupid. That's my point.
It's all a bunch of BS that you're watching, people.
Yeah. If you like something, tell your friends. Word of mouth is way cooler.
And don't ever ask me if I watched the Oscars or the Grammys, because the answer is no.
You can ask me, but I'll just tell you now. The answer is no.
I won't yell at you if you ask me, but
Leonardo DiCaprio should win something, because I like Leo.
So do I. Leo.
Hopefully he thinks the awards are stupid too, because he knows he should have won probably a couple of times.
He's like, look, I'm just here to make movies and make money. Give me the award.
We're having an extended halftime because there's just lots of cool stuff to talk about. So enjoy, everybody. Mark Gilbert of the New York Post wrote a cool article that I thought you'd be interested in, Zach, and maybe our listeners will too, about analog coming back.
Interesting.
And basically it says 3 of the most popular items at this month's annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas were a signed camera, a record turntable, and a new Polaroid snapper. And it suggests that there's a back from the future movement gaining ground that reflects a growing fatigue with the virtual world of digital products and a renewed enthusiasm for the old-fashioned analog experience.
Beautiful.
Panasonic revealed a revamped Technics SL1200 direct drive turntable, which is a record player that basically disappeared in 2010. Sony also made a record player that was the star of their Las Vegas display.
I think the Technic 1200 was one of like the top-notch go-to for scratch artist DJs.
Oh, sweet.
The scratch.
Cool.
I couldn't afford them. I think they're like $1,200 a piece or something. I couldn't afford them.
Well, they're bringing it back, man.
Right on.
It says the sales of records climbed by an annual 56% in the UK last year.
Beautiful.
According to the British phonographic industry. And also Polaroid picture.
I love Polaroid, man.
They got a $99 self-printing camera that they call the Snap, and I guess they did some sort of research, and they basically said as opposed to a camera phone, people are willing to wait the extra couple of seconds when you get to actually print a picture out and hold it in your hand. I guess just some sort of psychological study proved that people enjoy that experience or something, so they're gonna make them again Polaroids.
Yeah, and the way it looks and
$100.
everything.
People are gonna, $100 camera. Here, have fun. People like Polaroids.
Yeah, are they high definition? Like they're gonna mix the kind of high def digital thing with
I'm
the
sure
analog?
I didn't read many details about it, but I'm sure it's gonna be, it's gonna have to do something cool to compete. But I think what's cool about a Polaroid is like you can take it and you can just hang it up somewhere real quick.
Yeah, I love it, man. And what I love about the old Polaroids is that they weren't the high definition look, and they had just a cool vibe to them.
Yeah, they definitely have their own aesthetic appeal to them.
Yeah, and hopefully more things going analog means things will last longer, not break as quickly. Things like that. You seem to know a pattern. The older stuff seems to last longer, so.
Yeah. And then finally, Kodak just said that their new Super 8 sign camera is part of their analog renaissance that they're
the Super 8. Yeah, man, that's filmmakers use that. There's been a lot of good movies made on that have John Waters, Pink Flamingos. Wait, no, was that on the Super 8? Forgive me. Anyway, moving on.
So a new dinosaur fossil was discovered last year, or I guess in 2014, but now it's all constructed and hanging in New York's American Museum of Natural History. I guess they're calling it, I don't know if this is the official name or not, but they're calling it the Titanosaur. It's like the biggest dinosaur ever. It's 122 feet long, 22 feet tall. It's basically 3 city buses in length. The fossils were discovered in Argentina's Patagonia region in 2014. It weighs 70 tons, which is about 10 African elephants in weight, and it's still less than a blue whale, which I think weighs like 200 tons or something.
Whatever, get out of here.
But I guess that's the difference between eating like plankton and krill and stuff versus just plants. So,
Word.
Finally, Ben Stiller and Penelope Cruz were on the cover of Vogue because Zoolander 2 is coming out.
Yes, I'm so stoked. I cannot wait for Zoolander 2.
That's the reason I picked this, because I knew you were going to be excited. And obviously this would be an answer to this question, Zoolander 2, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but is there a movie that you'd like a sequel to be made from that you can think of?
That's a good question.
I'm trying to think of, I would have said Ted, but then Ted 2 was disappointing.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
It's tough, huh?
Yeah, it seems like, because I'm not really a big sequel guy anyway. It's kind of like I'll love the original or whatever, and they'll make the sequel whether I want them to or not.
Right.
If I like the original, I'll go see the sequel. Most of the time I'm disappointed with it. So no, I don't think I have one. I know it's not so fun, but I can't think of it right now. I have to sit here for a few minutes.
Yeah, I feel ya. I think, man, it's my thing with sequels is because it's like, usually if I was gonna say, hey, I want a sequel made, it would be because the movie was so good the first time around, I want to watch it again or something. But it's like sequels tend to disappoint you, so it almost makes me want to say no, I wouldn't want a sequel made, because if I enjoyed it, then the sequel just let me down.
Yeah, right. I want another Fast and Furious. That's what I want.
The Ocho, Fast and Furious 8. There's been 7 of them.
Let's see what kind of hotties are in that one.
So anyway, that's all I've got for halftime. So That's all I got to say about that.
Halftime out.
Hey, yo, it's halftime. Okay, so before we get back into basketball, just because I don't want to spend too much time on it, I figured I'd just briefly mention the college football championship. It was last Monday. Alabama beat Clemson on Monday, 45-40, in a great game. I thought it was a significantly better game than the other bowl games that I watched the weekend before. Alabama had an onside kick and a couple great plays that just kind of were game changers in the momentum of the game. And I felt like it was just pretty clear that there were two standout guys, Deshaun Watson, Clemson's quarterback, and Derrick Henry, Alabama's running back. Just those guys are going to be playing on Sundays. They're NFL players to me. So shout out to that game. Great football game. Hope everybody enjoyed their college football season. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, so that's the end of college football for the basket cases. Whoop whoop.
That's it for that.
That's it for that. All right. What else we got here? You want to talk some basketball?
Basketball.
So in the NBA, Jimmy Butler has been on a scoring and just balling rampage.
And his hair looks great.
And his hair looks great while he's doing it. He had 53 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals versus the Sixers on Thursday.
Wow.
On Tuesday versus Milwaukee, he had 30 points. He didn't have a great game against the Mavs the other night, but overall, he's just been balling. So I wanted to give a shout-out to Jimmy Butler for all you NBA fans that are watching. Other news with the Bulls, however, was on the more somber side. Joakim Noah separated his left shoulder on Friday, so who knows if he's going to be able to return this season. It looked pretty bad. He was dangling his shoulder as he was walking off and just hanging, just couldn't even hold it up.
Dang.
Yeah, it looked bad.
My shoulder came off.
Dude, I feel bad. I love Joakim Noah, but he just battles injuries, man. He's always got foot problems, and now he's got his shoulder problems.
That's what you get for being big.
Yeah, the Clippers finally lost. They lost to Sacramento over the weekend. They were on a 10-game win streak, though, which was very impressive considering they didn't have Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan has pneumonia and stuff. So the Clippers are still playing well. They finally got their rhythm back. Blake Griffin is supposed to return, like I said, on this 5-game road trip. So we'll see if he can kind of inject some life into the team after losing that game and hopefully kind of bring the team whatever they need that he might have seen in his absence. Considering how well they played, hopefully he can keep that going with the team too, and make the Clippers an interesting threat in the West.
Practice your free throws, for God's sake.
Yeah. DeAndre Jordan, like I mentioned, he had pneumonia, and that ended his 360 games played streak, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that's still pretty cool. I'm glad he didn't have like a knee injury or something. That's incredible. He's so big and so athletic, man. DeAndre Jordan, 360 games. Hopefully he comes back. Goran Dragic for Miami had an MRI that revealed just a mild calf strain, so he's been sitting for a couple games, but fortunately it's nothing too serious, it doesn't sound like. The Warriors lost to the Nuggets earlier in the week, but they were shorthanded, and it was in Denver. And I feel like Denver gets a couple wins every year just because they're in Denver. Like the oxygen is just so thin up there. The air is just, it's hard to breathe up there. I feel like they catch a couple teams every year.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry, man, he's just so good, man. He had, there was an article that I just want to talk about Steph Curry a little bit, and then we'll talk some more about the Warriors because they did lose over the weekend, and we'll get there in a moment. But I just want to talk about Steph with you real quick. So ESPN had an article come out, and they basically were ranking the top point guards, and they had Steph number 4, I think, all time. And he was only behind Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, and John Stockton. And do you feel like Steph Curry can be ranked the number 4 point guard of all time already?
No.
I agree, but explain yourself.
Because who knows what's going to happen? He's great, but who knows?
Exactly. I feel like there's more to it than having one great season and now playing this one start to a great season.
Yeah.
I think because I immediately, when I heard that it was just Magic, Oscar, and Stockton, I was immediately thinking, well, come on. Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and Jason Kidd should all be ahead of him. Just immediately, that's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
And I think longevity does have something to do with when you talk about all-time greats and NBA careers.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you could call it one of the best all-time seasons.
And then obviously, excuse me, I misspoke, but also Isaiah Thomas as well, obviously. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like Steph is, I mean, if he keeps playing the way he is now for another, 5, 6, 7, 8 years and really has this type of play, I don't know how he can do it, but I hope he does.
Oh, man.
I
He
hope
might
he
surprise
does.
us all.
I hope he does, because the way he plays is so fascinating, really. It's really majestic watching him. He's just like a little maestro out there.
Yeah. Killing it, always.
But the thing about ranking players and stuff, I always think it's ridiculous, because
Definitely.
Kobe was talking about this the other day too. He's like saying it's like taking two art pieces and just saying like which one's better. It's like it's totally subjective, and eras are different. Time, like competition in the different teams and the era time frames is always different. The role that the way the game is played is different. The rules change. There's so many things that go into why a player is the way they are. Their teammates, the type of teams that they get to play on. But I also think it's funny, particularly with the point guard position, because like if you really think about it, LeBron played point guard for like the first 5-6 years of his career. I mean, yeah, he's a forward and stuff, but a small forward, but he brings up the ball and dribbles and passes it and distributes. Like he runs the show like Magic Johnson used to run it. Like,
Yeah.
And so it's just like, how are you going to call? I don't know. Ranking point guards to me is just kind of one of those, or any sort of player.
Yeah, like I see what they're
can't
saying,
do
put
it.
him in number 4 or whatever, but I don't think it's right. Yeah, they can't do that.
Yeah. Something funny happened in a Pistons Spurs game earlier this week. I know last week we were having the debate about whether or not coaches would make the McCollum for the Blazers sit when we were talking about how the Blazers mistakenly left him off the roster and Doc Rivers, the Clippers coach, made the Portland Trail Blazers own up to that mistake and not play their star player.
Yep.
And I was arguing that Popovich and other coaches would most certainly not let the rule slide, and they would make the other team's best players sit if they were, lucky enough to have that team make that mistake. So anyway, I thought this kind of epitomized what was the way that Popovich would respond when officials were changing a net in the warm-ups for the Spurs and Pistons game, and Popovich basically noticed that they were only changing the nets on one side of the court, and so only one team was getting to warm up on a basket. So Popovich, of course, insisted that they change the nets on the other basket. And in the post-game remarks, Stan Van Gundy was talking about it, the Pistons coach, and he said basically Pop told them to change the nets on the other side, and Pop gets what he wants, and they did change the nets.
That's what's up.
So
Pop gets what he wants.
Pop gets what he wants, and he will take any sort of edge, any little bit of competition, any little anything. He will take it, and he will do it. So anyway,
I love that guy.
I
Best
do
interviews in sports history.
Dude, he's hilarious. So anyway, that was funny.
Yeah.
And then finally, just around the NBA, little rumors: the Knicks and the Nets, those two New York teams. They are rumored to be very interested in Mike Conley this summer, the Memphis Grizzlies point guard. So Mike Conley's a good player. He's a big free agent this year, but I don't think the Lakers are going to be interested because they already have their. Like I said, I think they've got their guards. They're young guys.
Yeah, they just have to keep nurturing.
The Lakers are going to need like a scoring guard, like a not a point guard size, but a little bigger size, and they're going to need a better big than Roy Hibbert. They're going to need a good big.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If they want to be like a really good team in the next few years.
So they need a center, like you're saying.
Yeah. What else do we got? We got a couple of fun things to do, and then we can talk some UFC. And for the fun things, in light of Dr. King and great public speakers, I figured we'd play a game of did Donald Trump say that?
Now, you ready to play the game?
You wanna play that game? Back in the game now. Are you ready?
Okay, so we're going to play a game of Did Trump Say That?
Game time.
It's time to play the game. So, I figured obviously I was joking about Trump being a great public speaker, but he does give us nuggets of just tasty ear candy to laugh at. So, the game is very simple. I'm going to read a quote, and I may have made it up or Donald Trump may have said it. And it is your job as the listener, or your job, Zach, as the on-air contestant, to determine whether or not I made it up or
I like the
Trump
sound of that.
actually said it.
Yeah, cool.
Shall we play?
Yep.
The first quote. I love the people, and the people love me. It's a real love fest.
Damn it. He said that.
He did not say that.
Should have gone with my gut.
Gotcha. That was me. I made that one up. Number 2. I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to ISIS.
He said that.
He did say that.
Gonna go with the gut.
I'm the worst thing that ever happened to ISIS. Okay, here we go. Next one, number 3. Rosie O'Donnell is so big, and yet I'll bet you she can't even cook.
He said that.
No, I made that one up.
Oh, man. He's always got it out for Rosie.
I know, that's why I made something up about her, because I figured I could get you.
Yeah, you got me.
Next one. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
He definitely said that.
Yes, he did.
Donald J. Trump. I bet it stands for like Joseph.
He made sure to say it in the third person for emphasis, in case it wasn't a powerful enough of a sentence as it was. Jeez.
Keep those damn Muslims out of here.
God. What a smart guy.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anyway, next. These terrorists, they're crazy people. They're crazy and they want to kill us. Well, I want to kill them too.
You're good at these. Though. I'm just going to say he didn't say that and be wrong.
You're right.
Okay,
I made
sweet.
that one up very,
Cool.
very well. Nicely played.
Went with the gut.
Good job. Next.
Thanks, man.
So this one goes back to, we had a halftime story. So anyway, you might recognize this. Did you read about Starbucks? No more Merry Christmas at Starbucks. No more. Maybe we should boycott Starbucks.
It's still Donald Trump.
It is
He
Donald.
didn't say that.
He did say that. Remember the Starbucks story?
This guy's
that we had?
obviously a loose cannon.
Remember in around early December, Basket Case's halftime episode, we were talking, halftime of the episode, we were talking about,
People bitching about nonsense at Starbucks.
yeah, well, the cups changing and
Yeah.
not having like a festive of, decorations or whatever, just being Christmas colors.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump, that was pretty funny.
We should boycott Starbucks.
Yeah. And then finally for the game, the last quote we have, here we go. Heidi Klum. Sadly, she's no longer a 10.
I hope he said that.
He did
He
say
did
that.
say that. This guy. Sadly, she's no longer a 10. What a jerk.
He is a jerk, man. Cause he's such a looker.
Probably be one of the ugliest presidents we've ever had.
Yep. All right, so we got 2 things left. We got the UFC and we got Strictly Hip Hop. Shall we?
Let's shall.
The UFC, it was a pretty nice event tonight. TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz had a bantamweight championship fight that was free on FS1. And I thought it was pretty cool because it was a Sunday night with, Monday being the holiday and there being NFL playoffs on Saturday night. So the UFC really, advertised during all the football games and then put a nice, really exciting free fight on to hype the sport up on a Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
So
It was a good fight, too.
to your point, it was a good fight.
Couldn't even tell who won.
It was a split decision, and it was a very tough fight. It ended up going all 5 rounds. TJ Dillashaw was the belt holder, and the judges scored it 48-47 Cruz, 49-46 TJ, and 46-45. I'm sorry, I wrote it down wrong. So, shoot. Either way, 2 out of 3 of the judges said Cruz won the fight, and so he took the belt from TJ, and now he goes, 21-1 in his MMA career now,
yep.
or UFC career. So just an impressive performance by Cruz. I thought Cruz lost the fight, though, because I felt like Dillashaw landed more impactful, blows, especially with the leg kicks and stuff like that. But I guess maybe they said Cruz got a couple nice takedowns and just maybe landed a few more strikes.
Yeah, Dillashaw hadn't never been taken down, and Cruz took him down 3 times.
Yeah, and Dillashaw didn't stay down long, though. I mean, he had great takedown defense, and he got right back up. But just really, really exciting fight. I hope people got... I don't know if you're listening, if you're a UFC fan or not, but we really like it. I think it's pretty entertaining, and there is a lot of skill in UFC, and you just got to watch it a few times. Joe Rogan really is good at pointing out. He's the commentator.
And the guy from Fear Factor.
And the guy from Fear Factory. Fear Factor, not Fear Factory, the metal band. Fear Factor. But anyway, Joe Rogan is a really good color commentator for the UFC. And if you're apprehensive or on the fence about UFC, you're not really sure why people like it or what it is. Yes, it is brutal. Yes, it's violent. Yes, there is blood. But there's a lot of technique and skill and a lot of hard work and a lot of really good fighters doing some really incredible things. And TJ Dillashaw is a good example of that. And I don't think I've ever seen him lose. So that was, I think there's going to have to be a rematch. That was a close fight.
Rematch.
Those guys were balling. They were fighting out there, man. But they were willing to take a couple of shots to land a couple of shots. They both had some damage.
A couple of tough guys.
Yeah, a couple of tough guys. They're 135-pound bantamweights, but they're tough dudes, man. So in other UFC news, Ronda Rousey appears to be taking the year off. She's not going to be fighting at UFC 200 in the summer. She asked to hold off her fights due to her acting obligations. She's going to be appearing in a remake of Roadhouse. So how do you feel about Rousey basically getting her butt kicked and going into her shell, and now instead of coming back to fight, taking more time off to get her thoughts and her acting career going? And do you think that after a big loss like that, she needs to get right back on the horse and get out there and fight again? Do you feel like this is good for her to clear her head? I think Holly Holm really got to her, and that loss really affected her.
It did. I think it's good. I mean, hopefully... I don't know. I like the way Ronda Rousey was before she lost, I guess. She's always cool, got a special place in our hearts, but maybe it changed her perspective on things and like with life, and how maybe she can do other things that doesn't necessarily need to fight all the time. And maybe, that's some brutal stuff that they're going through also. It's not good for your body. So maybe she's deciding just to take a little break, and instead of just bam, bam, bam going at it. And I don't know, maybe a little bit of her killer instinct is starting to burn out, but maybe not.
Yeah.
If she heard me say that, she'd probably punch me in the face.
No kidding. Huh? She would just be like, oh man, I don't know where it is anymore. Yeah, there it is.
Say goodnight.
Should knock you out. But anyway, I think that Ronda Rousey is a great fighter who can't stand up with somebody like Holly Holm. She needs to get back in the gym, and if she was going to fight Holly Holm within the next couple of months, she would get her butt whooped again. I think that she needs to fight some other fights to get her confidence back. She needs to get her stand-up game tuned up. Holly Holm's probably going to beat Miesha Tate. I think that's her next opponent. But we'll see. Misha's a good fighter. I like her. She lost to Ronda a couple times, so I like Holly's chances. But I feel like Rousey needs to, I guess, if she wants to take her time off and do her acting and stuff, that's fine. Do it. But when you come back ready. And I hope she I hope she doesn't just come right back to fight Holly, because I think she'll get her butt kicked again.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Thank you. So let's do strictly hip hop and then close this some bitch out. Okay, so
make like a tree and get out of here.
Let's do some strictly hip hop. We're gonna do some hip hop slang real quick, and then if you have anything else hip hop oriented that you want to talk about, we can, just for fun, because I like talking hip hop. We can do like our 3 favorite MCs or something like that.
Ooh.
So let's do some hip hop slang. Zach, do you know what a chum shaker is?
A good song.
Nope, that would be brass knuckles.
Ooh.
Boom. I didn't know that one. I tried to pick ones I didn't know, so there you go. The next one, do you know what a clucker is?
A clucker.
A clucker.
Like a chicken head?
It's a crackhead or a drug addict.
Okay.
So it could be like a chicken head.
Could be.
If it was that type of chicken head.
A drug addicted chicken head?
Yeah, exactly. What about a fugazi?
An awesome band.
Oh, we need some more hip hop music. I let it stop. Let it keep rolling.
Bam, bam. I don't know.
It's a fake or fraud person or a fake scenario or something.
Oh, right on. I like the band Fugazi though.
Next one. What's a squatter?
Someone that won't go away.
Nope. It's also referred to as a hoopty. Does that give you any hint?
Nope.
That would be a car that doesn't run well.
Nice.
And finally,
Did not know that.
And finally, in this week's Strictly Hip Hop slang, we got a whiz.
It's your girl.
There you go. That's your wisdom. That's your man's wife or
Exactly.
fiance.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my whiz, yo.
Yep. I learned that from my man, the guru.
There you go. That's your whiz, man. That's your whiz. So,
Who is my favorite MC of all time, by the way? I don't know if I could do top 3 right now, but the guru for sure
the
is
guru,
my man.
Yeah, I know you like the guru. I'm not going to try to do my top 3 MCs. We'll save that for another Strictly Hip Hop. We just finished the hour, and I think we did a good job. So
I think so too.
I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I'm going to wrap it up. Yep. So
Wrap it up like a Christmas gift.
like a Christmas gift. Thanks for listening to the Basket Cases, episode 11. We'll be back at you next week,
Yes, episode 12 coming at you next Sunday night.
live and direct. So enjoy the playoffs next week. Enjoy the week of NBA basketball. Please email the show. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook, Stitcher, all the different places, YouTube. And subscribe on iTunes and hit us up. Peace out from the Basket Cases. Thanks for listening, everybody. Later.